nails and stuff going through his hands. That's a sigil, an external sigil to basically suck up energy. Pulling energy, and by pulling energy, that sigil becomes very powerful. It has a mass consciousness that is generating from the masses of the planet. So it's an intelligent being connecting that, the fragmented energy of that creation, because it's externalized. That's not an example of source energy in its purest form. You have different things people get trapped into. If you go and you become a Buddhist and you only talk to Buddha, you're only talking to one point of source energy. You're talking to a specific point, but you're externalizing that point. Therefore, you create the belief system of that's just being where your attention is going nonstop. It's going into Buddha. It's going into that consciousness. You're not allowing yourself to fully expand and express into your expression. Buddha was an expression, or is an expression. That's Buddha. You also have an expression. That's what unites us together as one. Anything, Walmart, anything, any corporation out there, any symbol out there. Think about the mechanics of it, on how it operates, on this fragmentation, these rules, where it breaks down into socialism, it breaks down into communism, it breaks down into capitalism, it breaks down into these different ways to be separated. The more it can separate, the harder it is for you to see if it's actually really source energy. If you focus on that one point for so long, that becomes your reality because you've expanded that black hole in front of you. That's your reality. That's what you experience. So if your attention is just totally going into that one point and you see disconnected from all points, then you can't bring in the full expansion levels of source energy and connect to this source energy. So this is it's an interesting time, like I said, because there's a lot of information that's coming through many people, many sentient beings, and it all interlinks to that oneness. Everything interlinks to that oneness. See, when you look at religion, you no longer look at religion as religion. You see it as pure consciousness, pure energy. You can interlink up to the energy and encode it for its absolute perfection, because it's energy, and you are that energy. You can be the one in that moment to change things by doing these kind of things. That's why, waiting around for somebody or waiting for a first contact and all this other stuff, it's funny because it just goes, again, it takes you into another avenue of separating your power, separating your energy. Even the concept of the movie First Contact implanted the idea that we have to wait for these beings to come, to contact us, to come forward and to solve all our problems. All these different shows, V, and all these different things are creating these different forms of way of harnessing your energy. UFO is just a word. It's a sigil. That whole concept of that is a way to suck in energy again on that particular subject, which creates black hole energy, which creates expansion, again going into this extraterrestrial stuff and expanding into these darker things, into this descension mode. They get tied up into that whole thing, which happens on different dimensions. Whatever your storyline here, there's the complete mirror of it up above you. That's the interesting thing. The more this third density is harmonized, the more harmonized everything else seems to be too. Why do you think all these things are happening right now? It's because there's so much higher frequencies coming in that are harmonized directly from source energy in its totality, in its infinite state, pouring into this and activating this infinite expression that exists in this moment on Earth. That's why so many things are happening all at the same time. It's called simultaneous synchronization. Again, that is simultaneous synchronization, alignment, all these different prophecies and all these different things that are coming forward and people are putting out there. But what is prophecy? It's another tricky thing. The word prophecy states that that is something that must happen in the future. So to go into psychic mode and start prophecy and start, all this stuff with astrology and your birthday and all these different things, creating separation through your abilities to connect to source energy. Yes, when you expand, either in descension or ascension, you have different things that activate. That's what makes it much more interesting. If it was just ascension, and that was it, then this would be an easy thing for everybody, right? But when you go into these descension states and you expand into these mirror-like ascension states, and they're not, they're the plain opposite of it all, you're creating the reality around you, and you're manipulating other people's realities through their DNA, through their mind manipulation games they play, and all these different things. They're using that energy on much more expansion levels, more perceptive levels, but you're creating separation at the end of the day. And that's because you're fully realized as a black hole. Then you're a descension state. Your whole system has basically been programmed for descension and fully opened up. Your whole system, your energy, your chakras, your meridians, everything. So you exist as a black hole. And you go around, you suck energy from people. You go around, you go into their bodies, and you do weird things, and etc. Because that's what you're programmed to be. You're basically in a new belief system, but a very, very highly evolved belief system and highly construct system, because now you've built these triggers to keep you in the state. So the moment you start going into this ascended state, these triggers pull you back into your descended state. So it's back and forth, it's positive and negative pull again. That's why the Illuminati and everything else do what they do, because they are so tied to that belief system. They're so tied to being a black hole. That's all they know how to be. But they are still us. We are still them. Don't get into the game of playing, the Illuminati are the dark and we're the light either. That they're to hurt us and do all these crazy things. All that stuff you say just comes back on you, and it connects to those potentialities that you say. Because down to the very base of creation, even if these beings didn't have a soul, their whole body is still part of source energy. It's energy. It's actually energy here in its physical form. It has to break down and go through a similar process. Even if these people don't have souls, it still has to go down this process. So they're still operating in source energy, regardless, because they couldn't exist if source energy didn't exist. Again, you have to bring it back into perspective again. That's how we begin to expand our levels of shifting things, because we can connect directly to this event or this person or this place or this thing, and we can talk to it and reprogram it. Again, you're listening to Power of Infinite Now Awareness Radio Experience. We got about 4 or 5 minutes left, I believe. Yeah, 5 minutes. And this is Source Core Plasma Realizations, Moments 12. We're going to be going to Moment 13 tomorrow. The series will probably end this week. We'll go into the next series, or we'll actually be going into guest speakers. Haven't decided quite yet. So keep an eye out for Dove Ireland. Keep an eye out for Dr. Cody and the Technologies of Peace. And I send you love, light, infinite hugs, infinite blessings, infinite levels of expression, infinite levels of expansion to open up fully to your potential and connect to that potential. So awesome. Again, this show airs Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, we have other shows within this show, so going and we're just keeping expanding more and more every day. All right, well, awesome. Beautiful moments, guys. I'll see you, feel you, and be with you in the next moment that arises. Here actually comes the music. Got kicked out of there again. How interesting. And here we go. Namaste. See you in the next moment that arises.